Welcome to the Saints Sports Corner. We got a great show for today. We're going to be talking about the Saints training camp week 1. That's right, the Saints training camp week 1. Things we like, things we saw. We're going to be discussing everything Saints so that we can figure out, are the Saints really ready to make a run this year? We got a lot more of that on the Saints Sports Corner.
Yeah. Who that? Who that? Who that said they gon' beat them Saints? A win is a win by a mile or an inch. It's any given Sunday when we battling in the trenches. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Die hard even after an L. Still reppin' in my section, yelling outside the dome, going home. Who that? We that? Black and gold soul, that's my song. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Touchdown Saints putting points on the board is how my squad steady winning. Sacks on D, turnovers, wow, don't even think about. Coming back, it's already late in the fourth now. We that, who that, we that, who that, who that, who that. 4,000-yard QB, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,200-yard receiver, straight pressure. Lockdown corner, throw that ball if you want to. TFL's in the backfield, boy, we on you. Black and gold, so that's what I'm all about. Forget about the division, the Saints run the South. Who that, we that. Who that? We that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that?
Welcome in, Who Dat fans. You already know what it is. We back. The football season is back. Training camp is in full effect. Drew Brees going into the Hall of Fame this week. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. So let's just dive right in. We had some late breaking bad news that kind of hit us hard when it comes to the defensive side of the football, with Brian Brees going down early training camp day 1. That really shook up the NFL. That really shook up the team, because Brian Brees was in a contract year and he was looking to have a big year. Yes, indeed, he was looking to have a big year. Brian Brees went down, and he didn't go down for just a few weeks. He went down for the remainder of the season. How does that impact the Saints? Look, the Saints are really deep at defensive tackle, but Brian Brees, man, he's been consistently getting better and better and better each year, man. So it's going to be hard, and I feel for him, it's going to be hard to kind of bring him back when it comes to his contract and the things he can do, because I really feel like Brandon Staley could have unlocked him this year. Like, second year in the system, better players, everybody knows what to do. I really feel like Brandon Staley could have unlocked Brian Brees. But, man, I'm wishing much health to Brian Brees, man, because going down in the contract year, you're trying to feed your family, man, that is tough. That is tough. So get well, Brian Brees, man. Speedy recovery to you. I'm wishing. So, but also, Chris Olave signed a $132 million contract. That's right. Chris Olave, $132. He's going to be a Saint for a while. Chris Olave got paid, man. He's going to be right around $33 million a year. You know, that's like top 6 in the league. You know, Chris Olave got paid. Now you're going to have Jordan Tyson and Chris Olave for the next 4 to 5 years, man. That is big, because, you know, man, Chris Olave is a bona fide stud, He's consistent. As long as the head injury is not there, he's consistent. So we got guys now who can get down the field. We got guys who can separate. We got guys who can make catches. We got guys who can actually ball. We talking about Chris Olave. We talking about Barion Brown. We're gonna talk about Barion Brown later in the show because this dude might have something. He might got a LaDevry Henderson in him. I'm telling you, he might have a LaDevry Henderson, and I'm just saying that because Devery Henderson went to LSU too. I'm telling you, this Barion Brown. Every time you see a highlight, it's Barion Brown beating somebody deep. He might got a LaDevry Henderson in him, but not off that note, man. The Saints are getting a ton of media attention. The Saints are getting a ton of media attention. What does it all mean? Is this really what we want early in training camp when it comes to the Saints? Let's be honest. I would much rather the Saints fall under the radar, be a sleeper team, than to have all of these analysts and pundits actually saying the Saints going to be good. Because I'm going to be honest. I went through the schedule and I really only saw 9 to 8 wins. At best. You seen the show. I seen 9 to 8 wins at best. Does that mean they can't overachieve? Absolutely not. Does that mean they can't win a division? Absolutely not. But I feel like a lot of pressure is on Tyler Shough. A lot of pressure. And I'm trying to see if the pressure, is going to break a pipe, or is this going to create a diamond? Because the Tyler Shough train and hype is through the roof. For a person who only played a couple games. So I think, I'm not going to say people are overhyping him because the talent is there. I'm going to say we just need to pump the brakes and remember he's still only in his second year. Does that mean he can't go off? Absolutely not. Does that mean he'll be better in year 2? He should be. This is where the biggest jump is made from quarterbacks. So Tyler Shough should be ready and poised to hit the ground running. Especially working with his receivers this offseason, having a more clear-cut receiver room than he had last year. There's a lot of musical chairs, a lot of moving pieces when it came to his wide receiver room. Now having a couple tight ends, now I don't have to worry about the Taysom Hill package. Now actually running a traditional offense, I think Tyler Shough should be much, much, much better going into year 2. And look, I'm all here. He got ETN and Alvin Kamara in the backfield. We haven't seen this since Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, since Reggie Bush and Pierre Thomas. We haven't seen this in a while where we had a two-headed monster that both can do the same things and that's capable of both are different than each other, in terms of running style. So this should absolutely make the Saints offense unguardable again. Now we got Alvin Kamara that's going to actually do what he does best, is that's catching passes out the backfield, split out ride, catching screens. This should unlock Kellen Moore's offense and take him to the next level, including motion. Man, this offense should be nice. They're going to be fast. We know that right out of the gate. The New Orleans Saints wide receiving core is going to be fast. We absolutely know that. Because these guys can absolutely fly. These guys, we talking Chris Olave, we talking Jordan Tyson, we talking Barion Brown, we talking Lance. Man, these guys can burn, didn't we? We can't forget about Divine Vele, a possession receiver, Jalen Poe. They're stacked at the receiver position, man. They got a nice little solid tight ends in Jawan Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So, man, this offense is looking to have a monster year. Now, can Kellen Moore pull it off? Can he be more consistent in the run game? That remains to be seen. Can he call a little more screens? That remains to be seen. Because all last year we was calling for it and it just wasn't working. So we'll look forward to this offense to grow into something that we haven't seen. Scoring more than 21 points a game is a must to be a dog, to be a juggernaut, to be a powerhouse in this NFL. You have to be able to score points. The top upper echelon quarterbacks, they can score points. We're talking about the Lamar Jacksons, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, The Matthew Staffords, the Jalen Hurts. I mean, these guys can put up points in a bunch of different ways. The Josh Allens, you have to be able to put the ball in the end zone. And I look forward to see the Saints actually take that maturation process and actually get this thing to the next level and get this thing in the end zone more often. So as far as the defense concerned, the defense, obviously, when it comes to cornerback, we might be a little thin. I'm interested to see Quincy Riley in year 2. Right out the gate in training camp, he picked off Tyler Shough. You know what I'm saying? So we obviously see the maturation process there with Chris Riley. All he does is find the ball. He got a little Tracy Porter in him. Not saying he's Tracy Porter, but he got a little knack for just finding the ball at the right time. I'm interested to see the growth in the safeties. Can our safeties take that next step? Because they're going to need to. Because this defensive line, it looks to be ready to take another step. Man, listen to me. There's a guy on the New Orleans Saints, if you haven't heard, by the name of Chase Young. He's happy, he's healthy, and he's absolutely dominating. He is flashing. He's pushing offensive tackles in the people's lap. Man, this guy, listen, this might be a double-digit sack year. This might be a double-digit sack year for Chase Young. Chase Young might be one of them upper echelon defensive ends, man. I'm looking for big things for Chase Young. Obviously he had a good year last year. Obviously Cam Jordan really grabbed him, took a hold of him, and look, brought him under his wing and said, look, young fella, you got all the talent in the world. This is how we do things, though. This is how you got to be intentional about getting to the quarterback. And it worked. And he looked like he ready to look. He looked like he can go right now. If a game started right now, he looked like he can go. I respect that about Chase Young, So listen, the Saints defense only going to go as far as Saints defense and offense, to be exact. It's only going to go as far as the offense and the offensive and defensive lines. It's the farthest they go. Now, I know that's cliche, but we have seen some atrocious line play around the Saints organization for the last couple of years. They have been bad. They have had injuries. They have battled injuries. But now that you got two tackles to anchor, you have a nice guard, you have a nice center. Now you can potentially figure out if Ruiz the guy, and if not, we can find somebody else. But we potentially have all the makings of a team that's moving in the right direction. And that's all we can ask for. I am starving for playoff football in New Orleans. And I know you are too. So if we can get this offensive line right, that means big holes for Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara. That means big passing yards for Tyler Shough. That means big wide receiving yards for the wide receivers. That means good scheme. That means, look, we do what we want. He worked out with Drew Brees, so maybe Drew Brees gave him a little tidbits and processing and things like that, and footwork and things like that, because Drew Brees, as far as accuracy and footwork, he's the best to do it. Congrats to Drew Brees going into the Hall of Fame. Look, there's a lot to smile about in New Orleans right now. Now, I'm a little bit worried about the linebacker core. I'm not going to lie to you. The linebacker core for the New Orleans Saints scares the hell out of me. Not saying it's not possible that they can hit the ground running, but the linebacker core for the New Orleans, get it? They got Pete Warner. Listen, I get that the Saints have some guys, but I feel like the inexperience, man, it can lead to some explosive plays, the miscommunication, the lack of leadership. So we're going to see if this linebacker core can actually get this thing cranking with Danny Stutzman too. This young guy who everybody was high on. We're going to see if he's ready to take that step. So I'm excited, man. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of unknown. The only thing we know is this is a fast-ass offense. That's the only thing we can guarantee coming into this season. And that the New Orleans Saints have a plethora of weapons when they didn't just a year ago. That's the number one thing. Now, Brandon Staley, you already know how I feel about Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is the best coach on the roster. Last year, he was the MVP. If you can rank coach, he would be one running ahead. Brandon Staley took a discombobulated, undermanned defense and turned that thing up. So obviously Brandon Staley can do what he do. So I'm never going to doubt him after seeing what he did with this roster last year. So I'm looking forward to see these guys in year 2. I really am. I really think the Saints can benefit from camaraderie, from familiarity, from having to absolutely be comfortable in a system. Same thing with the offense. So we got a few new guys, but for the most part, it's the same guys, minus the wide receivers. So, look, it's good to be optimistic. It's good to understand that the Saints might be on the up and up. Might. Keyword is might. But I'm more interested to see 6, man. Is Tyler Shough going to take the reins and say, look, for the next 10 years, I am the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and you don't have to worry about drafting nobody behind me. That's it. Job over, job done. Is that what he's going to say? Or is he going to have this Jekyll and Hyde career up and down? We're going to see. They're giving him the keys to everything, so there's no excuses. Like, barring any injury, there's no excuses for Tyler Shough. He got guys now. He got dudes now. They made him the bona fide leader. Let's go. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it popping, Tyler Shough. You know, let's see. Let's see if you that dude. So, man, a lot to talk about when it comes to New Orleans Saints. Let's talk about Barion Brown, though. This kid who's supposed to be drafted as a returner. Keyword returner. Kind of the Rashid Shaheed, burner returner, punt returner, kick returner. The guy who, you know, just gets you a touchdown when you're not expecting it, when you need some juice. But I think this guy is a lot more. You know, from the time minicamp starting, from the time training camp starting, this Barion Brown dude name just keep coming up. Splash play after splash play after splash play after splash play. There's a guy who's on the other side of it, and his name is Barion Brown. This guy might be the next Devery Henderson. Dare I say it? He might be the next Devery Henderson. This guy not only can get open, not only can he burn, but he catches the ball. This guy might be a breakout player for the New Orleans Saints when he's supposed to be like the 5th, 6th receiver. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him off the roster. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him off the field, which is good because the more explosion, the better. But this guy, he gets it. He gets open. He knows how to separate. Any wide receiver that knows how to separate is a tough cover. A tough cover. And this Barion Brown, man, it looks like he picking it up fast. He might be one of them ones. He might. Y'all went from saying that the Saints don't draft LSU guys. Well, hey, they might got one of them ones again. They might have one of them ones. So shout out to Barion Brown, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Can't wait to see him in preseason. Can't wait to see the speed up close. Like, this is Saints did some things with this offense. Now I think we still need a shutdown corner, a traveling corner, but hey, we gonna see. We got some young guys in there. You know, I was high on TJ Hall. You guys seen the show, my draft shows. I was high on TJ, so shout out to TJ Hall. So we gonna see, man. This is exciting. It's exciting to make the pile. We got news to talk about, man. We back. We back in the trenches. We back in the trenches, man. So I know y'all excited, man. I'm excited talking about it. Man, I can't wait to talk about so much more, though. I can't wait to talk about so much more. But Man, there's a lot of things going around. Let's say Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Sean Payton is going to be talking for Drew Brees. He's going to be inducting him into the Hall of Fame. He's going to be actually the one who presents Drew Brees, who helps Drew Brees into the Hall. That's big, man. The man cried. Sean Payton actually cried, bro. Both of those guys are New Orleans legends, man. They can't have the career they had without each other. It's special to see both of them come into New Orleans together and ride out together as Drew Brees take the Hall of Fame. That's going to be special. I'm going to try not to drop a tear. I'm going to try it. But, man, they brought so much joy to the city over the years, man. So much joy to the city over the years, man. They constantly disrespecting Brees on these top 10 quarterback lists. You know how that go. Constantly saying my boy is a top 5 dead or alive. Like, my boy is top 5 dead or alive. Period. When it comes to this quarterback thing. Like, he keep getting disrespected, but man, look, we ain't even gonna talk about the negative. It ain't even worth it. Drew Brees is in the Hall, first ballot, all-time passing leader. Yes, he was the all-time passing leader until he retired. You know what I'm saying? Broke all the passing yards records before your Tom Brady, your Peyton Manning. The guys who he consistently was compared against. Did it before all of them. Touchdown record before all of them. So, shout out to Drew Brees, man. I hope you enjoy your Hall of Fame induction. Congrats to your family, man. Congrats to your family. That is big. That's what greatness looked like. You know what I'm saying? Him and Sean Payton. So, that's all we got for the day, man. A quick pod, to kick the second week off. Things are ramping up. It's hot as hell. But, hey, this is what the grind is. So, I appreciate y'all guys for watching, man. Not a quick pod, just to touch on some key points, just to get our feet back wet, ramp up our 2-a-days and our 3-a-day pods a week, to ramp this thing up, to get in mid-season form for the NFL season, man. But it's good to be back. I had a nice break, but it's good. It's back to gotta get back to work. You got to. So, without further ado, man, I appreciate you guys rocking with me, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. A lot of y'all not subscribed, but you're watching the pod, which is cool. Look, all views matter. That we do not discriminate against views. All views matter. But make sure you hit that subscribe so you can get that alert when another pod drop. But without further ado, man, thank y'all for watching the Saint Sports Corner. I hope you guys have a good day. I'm out.